Hey everyone, it's David Brzezowski with Talent Smart EQ with this week's installment of EQ How To. I have a question for everyone. Have you ever revealed anything about yourself at work and then later on regretted it? Yeah, me too. Make no mistake, sharing and revealing the right aspects of our life at the right time, in the proper way, can sometimes be a bit of an art form. However, it is really important that we do share the right things with our colleagues in order to build a good professional network. Revealing the wrong things, however, can sometimes have a devastating effect on our career. So we have got to understand where that line is and not cross it. At Talent Smart, our research continues to show that 90% of top performers are also emotionally intelligent. EQ is that intangible, special thing about us that yet still can be learned and developed. And emotionally intelligent people are actually adept at reading others so that this skill is the one that helps us understand what to reveal and when to reveal it. So I have for you 5 EQ how-to tips for knowing what to reveal and, more importantly, what not to reveal about ourselves at work. And it's modeled by those who do it best. So tip number 1, do not talk about politics at work. If anything that we have learned in the past year and a half about that is to let's not get into this type of conversation in the workplace. People are very passionate about their political beliefs, and it is very nicely connected to our values and our identities. And when we question people about that, it maybe sets people into a different direction about their feelings about you. It is best at work to keep politics off the table. Those do not have any place for us to have a conversation. Tip number 2 is don't talk about how much you hate your job or that you are job hunting. Here's the thing, when we share our unhappiness about our job, immediately we can start to be looked at as that negative person or even worse, the non-team player. We might be unhappy, but we don't need to share that out loud so that people get the idea that you are checked out. Same thing with don't start sharing that you're interviewing or looking for a job. What happens if all of a sudden you change your mind or you don't get that job that you were interviewing for that you thought was going to be yours? People might dismiss what you bring to the table if they realize that you're going to be leaving out the door. Keep those conversations off the table. Tip number 3 is don't talk about how much money you work. There's nothing worse than finding out that your peer who does the exact same job as you is getting paid more money than you. What starts to happen is a bit of resentfulness, some negativity, and quite frankly, jealousy. And then what you make becomes compared to what you do, and then that's where some of the challenges will come from. No place to talk about money at work. Tip number 4. Keep the bedroom out of the conversation at work. It's a whole different conversation if we are revealing ourselves from our sexual orientation to be more authentic at work. But talking about specifics about what you have done on the weekend or you're trying to impress your friends at work about some of your conquests, not appropriate. Not only is it not appropriate, but people get very offended by that type of conversation. I know we think that we have friends at work, but sometimes they're work friends, and that's a little bit different than your friends. Keep sex and any of that kind of talk off the table. And tip number 5, do not share about who you think are the incompetent employees on the team. Listen, there are definitely people like that in every single team that's out there, but unless you have the power to help improve them or to fire them, don't start talking about it. You could start talking about it with or in front of people who are friends with them or actually believe differently than you. If you really have a problem with that person who you believe is incompetent, talk to your supervisor about some options that might help them be a better team member. Those are my 5 EQ how-to tips for knowing what to reveal and not to reveal at work about ourselves. And let me remind you, we still have a little bit of time for you to sign up for our last in-person Train the Trainer event of this calendar year. We're going to be in San Francisco at the beginning of December. Please go to our website, talentsmart.com, to the events section, and you will find information about our Mastering Emotional Intelligence Level 1 and Level 2 Train the Trainer certification. We hope to see you there, and if not, hope to see you back here for another round of EQ How To.